Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Accounting with Karim. And as always, before we start, honesty and integrity build credibility. And for this video, we are looking at the four different types of inventory costing systems, right? So let's look at each right now. So the first one we have is specific identification, which is very simple, very specific. A great example that I can come up with for this one is a car dealership, right? Very low volume in their inventory, but at a very high cost, right? So very easy. You purchased a Mercedes for $60,000 and you make a sale, you will have to allocate that amount, the 60,000, directly to your cost of goods sold. So they're very big items that you have, you can't really miss them. So that's a good example for specific identification. The second one that we have is first in, first out, which is FIFO. And so the assumption that we're making for FIFO is that the first items that we purchased will be the first ones that we sell, right? In reality, this doesn't mean this is what's happening, right? We're only making that assumption for costing purposes. That's it. And so we have an example here for FIFO. So on on January 1st, opening inventory, we have 50 units at $10 per unit. That's 500 in total. January 10th, we purchased 10 additional units at $20 per unit. That's 200 in total. January 20th, purchased 15 units, $10 per unit, 150 in total. So on in total we have 75 units, but different batch of units have different costs, right? So 75 units and we have in total 850 in total cost. So on January 27th, we sold 60 units. So how much should we allocate to cost of goods sold? Let's have a look. So cost of goods sold, remember, first in, first out, FIFO. So we're going back from the beginning and we're saying the 50 plus 10 equals 60, right? So we need to see how much should we allocate to cost of goods sold. So 50 units were at $10 per unit, that's 500. And 10 units were at $20 per unit, that's 200. So the total amount that we have to allocate to cost of goods sold, $700. The cost of goods sold, right? So first in, first out. We're only making that assumption to allocate the cost from your inventory to cost of goods sold. It doesn't necessarily mean that these are the exact units that you sell, right? And so let's go to average cost. And so average cost is a bit different, right? So we have to take the total amount of cost that we have divided by the total units. And so that gives us $11.33. And so how much do we have to allocate to cost of goods sold? Is 60 units that we sold on January 27th times 1133 equals 680. So that's the amount that we have to allocate to cost of goods sold. Okay, the last one that we have is last in, last out, which is a LIFO for short. And it's just the opposite to the FIFO, right? I won't cover this one. And the reason for this is because LIFO is no longer acceptable under Canadian GAAP. So no need to look at LIFO. Um, yeah, so only the specific identification, first in, first out, and average cost. Those are the three systems that you actually need to know. And so yeah, that is it for the four different types of inventory costing systems. And as always, before we wrap it up, honesty and integrity build credibility. Until next time, I will see you guys. Cheers.